Hello, everyone, and welcome back on our class on purposive communication. We are now on lesson two, which is on effective communication. In this class, we will be talking about the principles of effective communication and, of course, communication ethics. So, at the end of the class, you should be able to explain the principles of effective communication, define the guidelines in ethical communication, and formulate judgment on what is good, right, or virtuous in communication. So, since every day we communicate, we talk to people, share ideas, stories, and sometimes we just wanted to say something. Have you tried asking the question, have I effectively communicated? Why ask the question? Maybe because communication also requires ethics. Okay. So it requires ethics, the act of considering what is good and what is inappropriate. It's also in communication. Have I tried to communicate appropriately, or have I shared stories that are good, or the other way around? Okay. So many definitions have been described communication. So in the previous meeting, we have said we already have defined what communication is. And it somehow we have said that communication is a transfer of information, thoughts, ideas, feelings, verbal or non-verbal, from one person to another. Okay, so it may be through written or spoken. It can be in a manner of professional or social or personal or impersonal and etc. Okay. So we have said that communication process involves a sender, receiver, process, channel, and feedback. However, however, um, this description significantly underrepresents what can actually be a very complex process. So we already have said last meeting that communication is a process, but now we are saying that it is not just a process, it is a complex process. So why is it a complex process? It is a complex process because the very purpose of communication is getting your message across to the receiver as precise and correct as possible. That's why it is complex. You have to give your message precise and correct message. The message should be on the receiver correct and precise as much as possible. So if it's how much as much as possible, then there should be ways, no? There should be standard for effective communication to take place. And according to Osborne, no, according to Osborne, there are actually nine, no, nine ways. So what are those? Let's try to check on this. So Osborne, according to Osborne, there are basic principles of effective communication. The first one is clarity. Okay. When we speak of clarity, this means to say that our message should be understandable. It should be clear. Okay. It must be clear. And when we speak of clear, no, clarity, how do we do that? Of course, we should avoid using jargons, okay, or specialized terminologies. We should also avoid cliche expressions, euphemism, and double speak language. Yeah, that's clarity. The second one is concreteness. When we speak of a message that is concrete, that means to say that this message should be factual. Okay, this should be factual. Why should this be factual? It should be factual to reduce misunderstanding. Okay, so misunderstanding. So how are we going to do that? Well, it can be you can present data, no? Information, statistics, figures, and etc. The next one is courtesy. When we speak of courtesy, that means to say being polite, especially in terms of approach and manner of addressing an individual. In the Filipino context, we use po and opo. Sometimes we do a lot of gestures just to just to show how courteous we are. That's courtesy. The next one is correctness. Okay, when we speak of correctness, mm, it has something to do with the use of proper words. Okay, proper words. Let's say, for example, when you try to make some information, you say the the pregnant woman met an accident. That's correct. But never use or never say um, the pregnant woman met has been disgraced. Okay, the accident and disgrace, no? Because you are thinking of disgracia and disgrace, which are two different things. Okay, so that's one. No? Correctness. The next one is consideration. Okay, when you speak of consideration, um, it has something to do probably with when you try to give a talk, when you're invited to give a talk, you have to ask, okay, consider your audience as your as know who are going to be your audience, okay, because um the sender of the message must consider the recipient's profession, of course, no, the level of education, the race, the ethnicity, and etc. When you try to deliver a message, okay, because the manner of delivering a message sometimes depends on the level of closeness, or sometimes um, when you try to talk to your friend, um, it's also different, no, the register of voice is also different. It's also different when you try to talk to your boss. Okay, so that's it, no, consideration. The next one is creativity. Creativity in communication means having the ability to craft interesting messages in terms of sentence structure and word choice. Okay, that's creativity. The next one is conciseness. Okay, it must be concise. When we speak of conciseness, it has something to do with simplicity and directness. So when you try to communicate, especially if it's written, one, it should be simple, and two, it should be direct to the point. The next one is cultural sensitivity. Okay, cultural sensitivity. When we speak of it, this has something to do with our awareness of other culture, the similarities and differences, avoiding labeling. Okay, labeling, especially negative terms towards other culture. Okay, that's it. Cultural sensitivity. And the last one is it must be captivating. When we speak of captivating, it should be the message should be interesting to command more attention and better response. You see, if it's not very interesting, you would not get their attention. Hence, they'll get bored easily. So those are the basic principles of effective communication according to Michael Osborne. Okay, so we're now moving on to communication ethics. Okay, so the ethics in communication. Ethical communication is fundamental to responsible thinking, decision making, and of course, in the development of relationship and communities within and across contexts, cultures, channels, and media, of course. However, um, when we try to speak of ethical communication enhance human worth and dignity by, of course, how? by, of course, fostering truthfulness, fairness, responsibility, personal integrity, and respect for self and others. Okay, so why is it like that? Why is communicate? Why is in communication involves ethics also? Because when you try to say something, when you try to communicate with other people, um, the manner of communicating also reflects the kind of person that you are. You know, your personal integrity. Are you saying the truth? Are you telling the truth or not? Is it factual? No. Yeah. So that's it. So when you try to say something, you are also becoming responsible of what you are saying. Not only with what you are saying, but also in the presence of technology, the manner of posting. What are you posting? Ayan. So that's it. And the National Communication Association in America provides us a principle of ethical communication, especially for students like you, no? Students today. So what are those? Okay, so here is it. No? One is advocate truthfulness, accuracy, honesty, and reason as essential to the integrity of communication. Okay, that means to say we are encouraged, no? Everyone is encouraged to be truthful. Okay, to be accurate in what we are saying, to be honest, no? And of course, uh, to to reason, okay, to reason, to reason out, okay, which is essential to the integrity of communication. The second one is endorse freedom of expression. Okay, um, that means to say we are free to express our ideas. Okay, our ideas, because we have different perspective. We have our own idea. Your idea might be different from my idea, and so we can um, share this idea to achieve the informed and responsible decision making. Okay, the next one is strive to understand and respect our other communicators before evaluating and responding to their messages. That means to say we have to listen to them first, no? We have to let them finish, especially when they are talking. We have to let them finish first, ayan, before we say something, okay? Because sometimes or probably our comment is going to be different um, from what he or she is going to say, because we have not let that person finish what he or she is saying. The next one is promote access to communication resources and opportunities. That's why, you know, we have now Google, no? We have different internet, or we have different formation providers already in the internet, which is already accessible. Ayan. Okay, you just type what you need and it will pop out. Okay. The next one is condemn communication that degrades individual and humanity. Okay, through distortion, intimidation, coercion, and violence, and through the expression of intolerance and hatred. Okay, so condemn communication that degrades. See? Okay, yeah. So we have to be very careful with what we are saying or what we are posting, because sometimes, okay, even if it's unintentional, there are still people who suffer, or who feel who felt the hatred in them because of what we have posted. Okay, next. um the next one is promote huh? Promote communication climates of caring and mutual understanding, okay, that respect the unique needs and characteristics of individual communicators. Okay, so that's it. Okay, So at least promote, okay, promote communication climates of caring. So we should care with one another. Okay, let's try to understand one another. Okay, the next one is also um, condemn communication. So we already have that. Uh, Committed to the courageous expression of personal convictions in pursuit of fairness and justice. That's why um, we are encouraged to communicate. You know? We are encouraged to express our ideas. Okay, that's it. The next one is advocate sharing information, opinions, the same, no? And accept responsibility for the short and long term consequences of our own communication and expect the same of others. See, when we try, especially in our time, no, in our modern times, the use of technological advancement, Facebook, Twitter, and etc. Most of the time we post, no? We post our feelings there, no? So what we are trying to say here is let us be responsible of what we are posting because at the end of the day, no, at the end of the day, we have said a while ago, okay? It's going to be our responsibility and personal integrity and respect for others that will emanate. Okay? That will emanate. That simply means to say that when we speak of communication ethics, um, ethical communicators like us, no? Like us who are going to be communicating with others, should be or are respectful of their audiences. Okay, ethical communicators also consider the consequences of their communication. That's what I'm trying to say. No, no, we are going to be responsible of um, what we are saying and what we are posting or what we are communicating. The next one is ethical communicators respect truth. Okay, respect truth. So avoid posting fake news. Avoid disseminating informations that are fake. Okay, that are fake. Okay. Next one is ethical communicators use information properly. Ayan, o, di ba? We already have talked about that a while ago. So we should advocate truthfulness, accuracy, honesty, and etc. Okay. Next, ethical communicators do not falsify information because we respect truth. Okay, we respect truth. And of course, the last one is ethical communicators respect the right of others to information. Okay, so that's it. No, that has something to do with what we have discussed on the principles of ethical communications according to the National Communication Association in America. So that's it, guys. No, so I hope you learned something with our discussion today on lesson 2. And with that, thank you very much, and may you have a blessed day, and keep safe, everyone. Keep safe, everyone, guys. Thank you, and God bless you all.